What's poppin', y'all? Oh my goodness.
No.
See, I thought this was my podcast for a second. Kamusta na kayo?
Hola, everyone.
Wow, the kamusta kayo mga bagong pasok. Hello.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow, we just got served right
Yeah,
now.
we got served. See, you can already tell, Tessa's Tagalog is way better than mine. What's poppin', Tessa?
No, wait. I don't speak Tagalog fully, but you know what I learned in being atmospheres where you have to blend in with a Filipino? First, the accent, and there's 3 words. Diba? Diyos ko, talaga? O ganon. See? And then all of a sudden, they think I speak Tagalog. And I'm like, wait, no, I don't. But those are the words.
Yeah, those are the words.
Yes. And you gotta be loud and you gotta use your hands. And that's how you blend in being Filipino. Ganon.
I know.
Serious.
Shout out to Tessa. She knows how to blend in being Filipino. So Tessa, since Jackie, before we get into your introduction and whatnot, I don't know if Jackie understood all of those words that you just said.
I knew talaga.
Oh, she got it.
Okay, can you explain what talaga means then,
No,
ma'am?
I can't. Wait, but I know, I just know when to use it, but I don't know what it means.
That's funny because I also wonder, when you say those diba, talaga, Diyos ko, ganon, I'm like, what is the real translation? Because there is no exact translation, right? Is there?
Okay, so the way I would use talaga, for example, it would be like, oh, really?
See, but then you could say that with diba. You could use that too. See?
Ooh.
So that's where it gets confusing. So let's just make our own way. And I think it's also the way you say it.
Yeah.
Like in the context of what you say, and then tone too. Tone is everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of I guess unspoken rules when it comes to the Tagalog language.
Yeah,
it's
even
kind of
in Spanish too. It's can mean so many different things. It's you're either hella judging someone like that, or you could go
Oh, see, the only I was talking about was after I eat, and I'm like
Oh, no. But there's also the when you're pointing somewhere, the ganon.
Oh my God.
I've learned that. So
I like to say this. Filipinos are super lazy because she doesn't even know what I'm about to say, but she kind of knows. Filipinos are super lazy because at any given moment, if we don't have to use our hands to point, we will use our mouth
Yes.
but see, at the same time, you guys also repeat words, so it's prolonging, just saying more things.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
galing.
Yeah. Next naman. Well, no, that's not repeating.
That's not repeating the same word. Or what else is there?
Ocho ocho.
Oh my gosh.
Halo.
Oh God, here we
Halo,
freaking
yeah.
go. Yes. Well, shout out to all the Filipinos who repeat words and point with their mouths and whatnot. Welcome to episode 12 of the Mexipino podcast.
Yes.
Shouts out to our guest Tessa in the building.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I know, we're so excited to have
Yeah.
you too.
So much energy.
I know.
Hella
I
energy.
feel like this is just going to be such a bubbly podcast episode.
Well, what's crazy is that I think we were probably only 2 or 3 episodes in, and then Tessa, we went to the OneDownMedia Kumu event.
Yes.
I think this past December, she was like, oh my God, I love your guys' podcast. I'm just like, we're just 2 episodes in, but thank you so much.
The first episode, I remember hearing it, and I remember this exact moment. I was in and out, and I was so inspired because just the same that you were saying, a lot of our parents growing up, they want us to go in the medical field. They want us to do certain things, but there's so many of us that don't go in and are successful. And these are the stories, like your story as well for hosting and everything. And what really got me was that moment when you asked also, for Filipinos or Asian, a lot of times you have to go in the medical field, engineering, lawyer, doctor, and that's successful. Trust me, I went in there, I did nursing, I quit, I'm in media.
Yeah.
Do I have a background in media? No. Am I doing it? Yes. But, that's that other thing. You think about it too. Do I need college to do this? I don't have any college background in this, but we're doing it.
Wow. Yeah.
Just like you. I mean, did you need to go for radio broadcasting? I mean, it's all about experience.
You're right.
But these are these talks that we need to have. Not saying that there is a right way to doing it, but I was so inspired also hearing that, for Mexicans as well, the growing up, you're told, or not that you're told to be a lawyer, a teacher, but that really hit me. What is it for Mexicans that that your parents don't really give you? They don't really they don't say oh, you have to be a doctor or anything. But
it's kind of insinuated that it's a thing, and that's what we forgot to mention in the first episode, that also becoming a police officer is one of those highest rewarding jobs that you can have that your parents, like in Mexican background at least, it's like, okay, like, you know, we see that you've done the work to get to this point and we're proud of that. Right. And media and entertainment and everything is kind of like
it's supposed to be a side hustle. This is
Yeah.
just our hobby. What is your main dish?
It's not a phase,
No,
Mom.
exactly.
It's really not a phase.
This is my life.
But you know, Tessa, what's so funny about that is that, you know, growing up Filipino, I just told Jackie this the other day, and I remember when I was like maybe 5 or 6 years old, my family would literally get together every like Saturday, and they would have me and my sister go in the middle of the living room and just sing.
Yeah, we just did a post about that. I don't know if you saw our April Fool's. Can I pull it up?
Yeah.
So we just did a post about this. If you're not following One Down, plug. I don't know.
You can plug it. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
So here we go. Filipino jokes that shouldn't be jokes.
We
I don't know
were
if you
literally
saw
just
that.
looking at that.
Yeah. So the one that was Tita's at parties, the sing, and then me, I want to pursue a music career. Then Tita's, ano? Why? And then we put, it's not support if you're only supportive while I'm entertaining you. So, and there's a whole other thing, like even the eating thing. I mean, everyone struggles with weight, with how we're looking, a lot of those. And me too, especially, you know, you grow up and you're always told to keep eating at parties. But then when you put on the weight and they're like, oh, you've gained some weight. And I'm like, but you just told me to eat. And you told me to bring all those the contained leftovers out, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are things that I'm just like, come on.
Yeah, it's a lot of like, no, controversy is not the word, contradicting. It's very contradicting with a lot of like, you know, the elders tell us. So,
Oh
you know,
my God,
in this
definitely.
example, it's like,
yeah.
oh, you're so skinny. Why don't you eat more? And then it's like, you get a little bit
Yeah.
big. It's like, oh my God, do you need to lose weight? And then it's like, what the hell? Like, what do you want me to do here?
No, I feel
They're
like
never happy.
Like the oldies are always hella judgy. It's just like, okay, I'm not gonna like satisfy you either way, so I'm just gonna do what I gotta do, type of thing.
No, exactly. And when you think of when you walk into a Filipino party, I think we all have experiences. You have the titas or titos that are judging and chismising at the table.
Yes.
You got the gamer cousins that are like, gamer, right? You got like the titos that are drunk in the garage playing mahjong, whatever
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
And me, I'm like, where do I fit? I'm the one that goes in there. I'm being judged by, you know. Sometimes I feel like
You're judging.
yeah. What character are we when we go to the Filipino party?
You know what's so funny? Because I've thought about that too. And it's like, you know, I think like all three of us, we've all just kind of been like the media people of our families. I've always kind of just felt like the vagrant or like the solo dolo person, just always doing their own thing.
No, I definitely feel that way too. Because I mean, like you said, you've been around my family. Like I'm the only person in media, and it's really interesting to see how that has opened the door for like a lot of my younger cousins. Because one of my younger cousins went with us to the 626 night market.
Those parties look dope.
Yeah, and we went with Mixed Global, and so once my cousin saw what like Nico and I were doing there, she was just like, you guys are so cool, like, whoa. I was like, oh no, like it's nothing. And then she kept on saying what we do as our careers, and she's like, you know, I think to the point where she's now thinking about going into entertainment, and she wants to pursue that because now she's seen that type, like a little bit of that world.
See, and that's amazing because that's what it is. All it takes is these stories to be out there and put it like, hey, we're doing it. There are so many of us doing it, but the stories aren't out there.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So like with your podcast too, you've had so many individuals that even Desiree, I remember when Desiree you met and I was like, wait, they were at the Kings and then she was on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, see, these are the stories that need to go out there because you're all doing the damn thing. Mm-hmm. But how come it's not getting as much coverage as you know, I'm not gonna. I'm getting all deep. You know, it's okay, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, Tessa, why don't we learn more about your story right now?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I didn't know you were in the medical field or anything like that.
How long were you in the medical
So
field?
I was a nurse for 6 years, and it's crazy.
6?
Yeah.
Wow.
So and I did the whole thing where you CNA, LVN, move your way up. So I kind of was at this point where I was like, oh my God, what do I do? My lifestyle does not support my spending habits. I was like, oh, I like to travel because I was working at a high school, private high school. I was a director of activities. I was, doing the energy, having fun with the kids, all that. I was coaching volleyball, basketball, those types of stuff. And I was still trying to discover what did I want to do. And, my mom is in the medical field, all my relatives, I grew up, and it seemed like that's a successful choice for a lot of us. We think that's the only choice to, okay, you need that steady job for money. And I agree, yes, money, but that's not the only option. And I think for me, I was like, okay, this is the only option. So I went to nursing school. I went to nursing school. I was like, okay, I feel like everyone, no matter what, you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the end of the day, is this what I want to do? Is it, right? So I kind of had this click moment when, I don't know if you know Leo, my brother.
Yeah.
So he graduated from UCLA and he started OneDown. And he also worked for Blossom, and he went this whole different way. Everyone thought he was going to be a doctor. Everyone was, oh, why aren't you going to go in the medical field? Why aren't you doing this? Even my mom.
And so did he go to UCLA for?
He did. And he actually, he switched majors at UCLA, and then he went on. He started OneDown with his best friend Christine from UCLA, and, it took off from there.
Wow.
You know Christine.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out Christine.
So it took off literally from there, but being able to see that nobody wanted to support him, and everyone questioned it, especially when you think about Filipino media, there's not much, right?
Yeah.
There's just Mix, ABS-CBN, there's not a lot.
Yeah.
So when you're going into that realm, it's really difficult. So he really just went on, and he also worked for Blossom, which he created the most viral Facebook video in the world. Yeah. And
Wait,
he's
what?
Yeah. He made the most viral Facebook video in the world. This, my Filipino brother. Yes.
Okay, wait. Can you explain this video?
So,
what's this video?
It's like a DIY. He worked for Boss. So you know those Facebook DIY videos where they open. This one was like a gift wrapping one, where you have to show hacks. I'm pretty sure everyone.
Oh, like one of those like gift wrapping hacks.
Yes. So he made those, and he made a lot more like viral DIY type of videos, but what he learned from making videos, he was able to expand to food. He did it in other things, and that kind of passion for me was like, oh my God, I want to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, Leo is responsible for every single TikTok video out there because there's a lot of DIY shit on TikTok.
No, you should look up that video. Yes.
What the heck?
Wow.
Oh yeah, now you gotta look at
Hey,
that video.
that's kind of lit.
Yeah, and he makes me, whenever we do, because I like to make TikToks, we like to do videos. He makes me think, the first 3 seconds, I always remember, how's it gonna grab you? And I'm like, oh, how's my,
You're like,
how are my videos
rethinking it, playing his voice
Does
in the
this
back.
grab the attention of the people?
You're like, it grabs
Jesus.
my attention.
Yeah, but what audience am I trying to go for?
Wow. What
Wow,
the
that's
heck?
really cool. So then, when did you guys start OneDown?
3 years
exactly?
ago.
3 years ago.
I didn't really hop on. I was mostly involved producing, music videos, what the little things that they were doing. But I officially started maybe a year and a half ago, really getting involved in all their work. And for me, it was always a struggle because, again, I don't have any background in media.
Right.
I don't know, editing. I don't know nothing. Touching the camera, I get nervous because, when you have to go halfway to stutter or something to take a photo, that makes me nervous. I don't know what's happening with that. But I love just being in that atmosphere, and I love talking. I love being there. So I got into hosting as well. And for Kumu, shout out Kumu, I started live streaming. And I found a platform that I was able to be myself, and people accepted me for me. So I did my K-pop, my K-drama, I did all my content. I just had fun with it.
Yeah.
And I streamed I'm going on 2.5 years now. But then in October, I started working for Kumu. And then in December, when you were all at that event, I started leading the programming for Kumu USA.
Wow.
So now, yes.
Look at that. And all without a background in media. What
Yeah.
the frick?
I'm literally fake it till you I guess, I don't know if the right term is fake it till you make it, but I really don't know anything about it. And it's just learning from my experiences. I mess up. There's times where I don't get it, but I just continue to keep going.
Yeah. And you don't necessarily have to have this is how you do it, because honestly, there is being a host too, there is no one that looks like us.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no right way. Everyone has their own way to doing things.
Yeah.
We have to be, not that we have to be, but it's kind of almost like that sense of all right, well, we want to open the door for other people.
Correct.
So we should, make a pathway to like not necessarily be the blueprint and be me.
Yeah.
But, be a face for somebody to be
exactly.
like, hey,
and show
I can
others
do that.
yes, and show others that, hey, we can look like this and do our thing. But not only that, do other things on the side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop at just being a host. It doesn't stop with just being a DJ. It does, there's so much more to that. And I think for that younger generation, that really needs to hit. I don't know if you just saw, we did a college campaign. We gave money so we had UCLA, USC, UC Irvine, Cal State Fullerton, SFSU, and Cal State Long Beach. And we brought them all together and we said, hey, we're going to give you money for your PCNs. So this is $10,000 in prizes. Y'all just stream, just get together, play. Yes.
Oh, damn.
So we went from 100 to top 4 and they streamed, they did everything, their PCN, all that. They were able to raise money for their PCNs. And then we also just announced on Kumu, we are the main sponsors for Friendship Games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what Friendship Games
I
is?
don't.
So Friendship Games is basically when a whole bunch of Filipinos come together for... literally. Friendship Games is literally, it's at Fullerton, right? Yeah, Cal State Fullerton. It's basically every Filipino in the freaking world comes together.
Is it kind of, okay, I don't know if you know what Key Club is.
Yeah, like that when they do the decons?
Yes.
Yes, exactly
Okay.
like
Okay.
that, but like games and just all Filipinos, full
Literally.
intense games.
Oh.
And they all have teams and they have chants and they're holding totem poles and
Oh my
they're doing all
gosh.
this. And then they go on Tinder and then they match. And I just found this out. I was like, oh, so people go to Friendship Games and then find their Tinder matches.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Man, look.
If it works, it works.
I guess so.
We need to find
I didn't
the
realize
love
that was a
story.
thing over there. I knew people were hooking up there. I didn't realize it was a Tinder thing.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Okay, so if you found your love match at Friendship Games, let us know.
See, I think the next thing you need to do, like, there's like a black people meet, there's like a farmers
Oh my
meet,
God,
there's a
there's
Christian
Friendship
mingle.
Games meet.
You need like a Filipino, like a
Friendship
Filipino
Games.
mingle or something.
Oh my gosh, we should start.
Right? Why is there
All
no
right,
like
Liza,
Filipino
yeah.
mingle thing?
Yeah, there's actually even like
there a Mexican
yeah,
one?
there is.
Oh, there
one.
is?
Yeah, it's called
What is-
Chisme.
Oh
It's
God.
called like the
Oh.
Chisme app or something like that.
Wait,
yeah.
You can date them. You
And
find
you find other Latinos. Yeah.
Filipino dating
Dating
app. I'm
app.
searching it
It's
up
on
right
my
now.
For
comes
You
up?
page a lot, and I don't know why it's on my For
Oh
You.
yeah, now it's gonna show up on mine. Actually, there's one called FilipinoCupid.com.
Filipino Cupid.
Filipino Cupid or
Okay.
Pina Dates.
Pina dates.
Pina Dates.
Pina dates.
Pina Dates.
Ah.
See, it makes more sense when you say it with
Yeah.
like a
Can you
Filipino
imagine
accent.
the profiles of these people on this Filipino app?
Oh,
It's like,
God.
I don't speak Tagalog. Like, what is it?
What's our first date song? Lemonade.
Oh my God. Was that racist?
No, that was not. See, now he makes me feel bad whenever I make a Filipino joke.
I could play She Was Mine, AJ
Oh my
Raphael on the
God.
ukulele.
Did you know how to play the ukulele?
No, I don't. That's my sister.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think it also things like, okay, like 5 things to know. How would you, 5 things to think, how would you know she's Filipino? Or how would you know he's Filipino?
Ooh,
What would be our, yeah.
he smells like a balikbayan box.
What is that?
You don't know what a balikbayan box is?
No, I don't. I feel so lost right now.
So balikbayan literally, it literally translates, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Tessa, to going home box.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
it's basically.
I think that's on my notes where that word is on my notes. Where
It's
I
basically
literally have
a,
notes of
it's basically a
Filipino
care
words.
package of just like hella stuff that you send back to the Philippines.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
See, we Mexicans have that. We just say
Other ways you know he's Filipino, 5'7".
5'7"
or below.
That's how you.
Yeah,
that's how-
5'7" or below.
That's pretty high at
Yeah.
5'7". Most of the
shit,
ones
well.
I'm meeting are like 5'5". I'm like, oh, we're the same height.
See,
Oh my
this is
God.
why we need the Filipino dating app.
Oh my God, that's
height is
funny.
very important, yes.
Height is very
What
important.
else? What else is? That's 2.
Shoot, I'm a size 9 shoe. I'm just like naming hella
Oh
shit
my
about
God.
me.
That is Filipinos don't have big feet.
Yeah, but we have big hearts.
Big heart. I can sing.
I can
I can
sing.
sing. I feel like a lot of Filipinos
Oh
are
my
really good
God.
at singing.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Magic. Okay, there
Magic
are two
Mike?
Magic Mike, not the. Actually, there are two types of Magic Mike: the
Yes.
singing Magic Mike and the Magic Mike that is.
Oh my.
Which Filipinos are into both.
Especially depending on what part of the Philippines you're from.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Christ.
Dude, but those Magic Mics, those are insane.
Have you used it?
No, I haven't. You know he hasn't taken me karaoke yet?
Wait, seriously?
Okay, hold, everyone calm down
Tessa
first.
asked me how much Filipino food I've had.
How much Filipino food have you had?
I've literally only had the basics.
Okay, wait, Tessa, are you from SoCal?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been up to like
The
Daly
Bay?
City and all
yeah,
that?
my grandparents lived in Union City. My cousins are from Hayward.
Okay, so based off my personal experience, the Filipino food is just way better back up in the Bay.
Okay.
And there's a lot more Filipino stuff to do over there. I feel like the Filipino community in SoCal isn't as strong.
Hey, but we're getting there. I'm
Yes.
gonna take you some. So,
Thank you.
You know what? Have you been to Nary's in Koreatown? Have you been to Chase Market in Pasadena? There are so
Literally?
How long have you lived here? 2011,
2014.
right? 2014. Okay, see, they have been around. Nico.
See, this is why I said
Dang.
he hasn't taken me karaoke. And he had I've never gone karaoke.
Okay, we're gonna go.
Oh yeah,
we are
okay.
gonna go.
Even though we've like gone to apartment
God.
503 and there's literally like a karaoke lounge.
No, you gotta
at
be in the
bottom.
room, and you gotta feel like the superstar, and you gotta get up on stage.
And he just went karaokeing like 2 weeks ago, I think.
and didn't.
I'm getting shamed now. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll leave.
Yeah. And then I've only had, and as far as food, like I've only had like lumpia, pancit. I've had
You're gonna dismiss the sisig?
yes,
The
I had
sizzling
the sizzling
sisig?
sisig. I have had his dad always makes sotanghong when we go back to the
yes.
Bay. Like I can always count on that being there.
Not even Jollibee.
I've had Jollibee
Okay.
as of recently. Yeah.
As of recently.
Yeah.
Dude, there's not that many Jollibee over here.
There
like the
is.
closest one is like a couple, like
You
10
lived
miles.
here since 2014, though. What are you eating?
I'm eating Mexican food. I'm eating
Now he's
tacos and
eating-
all that.
Now he's eating Mexican food, so he's just
I
like,
get converted when I move down here, okay? Like, there's a lack of Filipino food, so I'm just gonna get all the Mexican food I can.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, you can learn to cook.
yeah. That
I
he's not
heard
gonna
about,
do that.
I
He's
heard
not
about
gonna
your
do-
horoscope thing about saving money and cooking.
Wait, you heard that? How did you hear that?
Your last podcast.
last
you talked
podcast,
about
you
it.
talked
Oh, you're really caught up. Wow.
Yeah, your last. You said you were gonna save money in the week. You were gonna so you could cook Filipino food. It's not hard. See, and
Literally,
if you're
this
confused,
man-
you FaceTime your mom.
Oh, and his dad's the cook.
Oh,
His mom-
Yeah, my dad's the cook.
I
My
was
dad's the
like,
cook.
I'll say that one. I was like, his dad's the cook.
See, isn't that crazy how like we automatically assume that the woman is the
yeah.
cook of the household?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay. My
Wow.
dad was the cook too. My mom can't cook, but if she hears this, I'm sorry, mom. You just can't cook, but it's okay.
Dude, my mom cannot cook either. I be getting on her so much. So like when we were younger, right? My sister and I, we would eat oatmeal every single morning, like Quaker
Yeah.
oatmeal, right? And then to spice it up a little bit, my mom would crush some Famous Amos cookies and put it in the oatmeal.
Oh.
Yeah, right? So one day, she decided to get super fancy and she was like, oh, I'm going to make some pancakes. So my mom makes some pancakes. Me and my sister both look at each other like these pancakes are dry as shit.
That's so messed up. Didn't she put like chocolate chip?
So another time, she was like, you know what? Since you said it was dry, I'm going to change it up a little bit more. She ends up putting some chocolate chips like in the pancake mix and whatever. She cooks it, and then me and my sister look at each other like, how do you add chocolate chip cookies and it gets worse?
Oh my god.
Okay, were they thick pancakes or like thin?
They
like,
were the thick ones. They were the thick
they
ones.
weren't good?
It was not good. My mom is not
Sorry,
good.
Tita.
But it's okay.
Your mom tries, but now she gets like the Portos like
Hey,
automatic. like,
I
you
will
just
say
put 'em
this
on
though.
the
My
thing.
mom knows. I will say this. My mom knows how to chop up the Spam and make it crispy exactly how I like it to be.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's an art too. That's cutting that Spam to the specific size because you don't want to be too thick, but you don't want to be too thin.
Exactly.
That's an
I
art.
feel it.
That's the story of every Filipino man's life.
Oh my god.
on your Filipino dating
Yes.
profile is how do you cook your spam?
How do you cook your
yes.
spam? The circumference of the spam directly correlates with a whole bunch of things.
Oh my god, indirectly, but
Yeah.
everyone knows.
That being said, I'm not putting the whole piece of spam on my frying pan as soon as I get it out the can.
Oh my god. Anyway.
No, but no, going back to the topic though, it is kind of crazy how like, like we all would automatically assume that like the woman is the cook of the household, especially, and I'm speaking from like a Filipino family perspective.
Yeah, I mean, even in Mexican culture too, like it's almost always assumed that, women are always going to take on this motherly role and, gonna be the cooks of the house and, and serve like, your husband and even your sons too. Yeah. It goes down that way too. Like I know when Nico comes over for family parties, it's always assumed that women, like your partner is going to go and get a plate for you and they're going to serve you. Yeah. And I remember the first time like he came over, I was like, hey, do you want me to serve you? And he's like, what?
He's like,
Yeah, it was like kind of one of those trigger words. I was like, you're going to serve me?
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, yeah, like I can get you a plate. He's like, no, I can get it. I was like, okay. But then like if I don't get it, then it's like I get those looks where it's like, why are you making him do it?
Interesting.
I don't know if that's a thing in Filipino.
Oh, no, everyone
culture.
just runs to the table. Like the party just started and they already packing their bottle to take home.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like in Filipino household, it's like, well, if you didn't get your food, first of all, go get some food.
Yeah,
and second of all, if there are extras, you better be quick to just take it yourself.
Really? I honestly really thought like that was probably a thing in Filipino culture too.
No.
Really?
I think Filipinos are always hungry and they just kind of they go for the food, they know.
No, literally, like that's how it's always kind of like been too.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I like that though. During that whole time that you were saying that too, the song "Cater to You" by Destiny's Child is like coming in my head.
No, I think like, well, I mean, and now I've worded it to a certain way where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna serve you and I'm not your servant, but I will ask him like sometimes I'm like, hey, do you want me to prep you a plate?
Oh,
When I say prep you a plate, then he's like,
better.
he's like, okay, like
Maybe that's the way you say it.
No, I think it really is the way you say it. Because, like even, let's say like my grandparents, for example, I was like, hey, like, do you guys want me to like fix you up a plate or something? I'm never going to say like, yo, I'm going to serve you something really quick. Like, it's kind of weird. It's just a weird word to use, serve, in itself. So it's if anybody, for Jackie, for example, when she came up to me before and was like, yeah, I can serve you a plate. I'm like, you ain't serving me nothing? Like, first of all, I have 2 hands. I have 2 feet. I'm able to walk up and go grab my stuff. I don't need anybody to serve me anything.
Now, literally, I just go and get the food myself for me, and I'm just like, and then like I just tap Nico. I'm like, food's ready, and he goes, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Who's the better cook between you two?
Ooh. I mean, shouts out to my air fryer, first and foremost.
Okay, yeah, because first off, I want to say that I'm the better cook just because Nico air fries everything and thinks it's actual cooking.
Hey, first of all, you get rid of all the fat. All the juices are gone. You know what I mean? There's no extra stuff in the belly.
Literally the other day, I was cutting up a piece of chicken that he made in the air fryer, and it was so dry, and I was you can hear me cutting it. And I looked at him, he goes, yeah, sorry, it's dry. I was like, yeah, I know.
Did you learn how to cook, Tessa?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm the I'm spoiled.
I like how you try to
I'm not even gonna lie. My dad would always serve me no joke. Before I left, my mom displayed my mangoes cut up the way I like it.
Wow.
Same with yeah. We're very spoiled still, so I have not learned to cook. But when I need to cook, I know the basics.
Okay.
Noodles, spaghetti. Just put the noodles and the meatballs, anything you can just buy and put together. It looks like a dish. I can do that.
Okay.
I will say this, and this is going to be a very controversial thing. Maybe. I don't know. But I can't do Filipino spaghetti.
Oh, you know what? This is so, okay. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry if anyone's okay, so I do for Cosmo PH and the Philippines, and then So Yummy in the Philippines, I do like the reaction videos. They're like, I'll eat it. I did this video, it went viral, Bea Salonga's Filipino spaghetti, and I had to act like cooking it and everything.
Spoiler
Oh
alert.
my gosh, so they're gonna cancel me. Yummy PH is gonna cancel me. I'm just kidding. No, but because they did it so well, and they had the hot dogs and all this, and all my job is to just, this is so good.
Oh my God.
It's so funny because in the video it looks like I'm cooking it. I'm not. It's not my hands. It's not. Yeah, no. I didn't.
You had actor hands? Actor hands were putting this stuff together?
But Leo cooked the food.
No way!
So Leo
God.
cooked the food, and my job was to just smile and eat it as if I prepared
Nice.
it.
Oh my
And
God.
hey, the video went viral. It looked great. It was.
You're like, it did its purpose.
It did it.
So,
Filipino spaghetti.
yeah, Filipino spaghetti. So for people who don't know what's in Filipino spaghetti, right? It's obviously spaghetti, banana ketchup, and some hot dogs.
Ground beef sometimes.
Ground beef, yes,
Yeah.
and also some sugar.
Yes.
Now the thing is, it's like I don't know why it's so damn good, but I also don't know why these ingredients actually came together and make something that is just fantastic.
Yes.
I feel like it's just one of those like high foods where you just like, start putting shit together. You're like, you know what, this actually works.
It works. It's good.
Yeah. And then you're sober, you try it again, you're like, oh, it was good. Like,
Yeah, you know what? This seemed kind of, let's add a little bit more sugar.
Yes. The sweeter, the better. And you're like, oh.
You have no history on that. Like, 'cause I feel like that's probably a fact that I've been looking for from
For the
One Down.
spaghetti?
Yeah,
the Filipino spaghetti.
yeah. Like I've been waiting for a One Down post of just like the origin of Filipino spaghetti.
All right, we'll do that next.
Yeah, I know, right? You're all like, thanks for ruining our post for tomorrow, Nico, but
We
shout
actually
out
had
to
that
Nico.
prepped.
I know.
I could actually hit you guys with one Filipino fact
Okay.
that I found the other day. I do gotta say though.
I don't know if I can take it
No, it's a really good
serious.
fact.
real?
Yeah, no, this is a yes. Why
Well,
are you
legit,
gonna?
I mean, the way
What?
Literally.
Why are you asking? Okay.
Because you're you, babe. That's why.
Oh my God.
Because you're you.
No,
You're literally
I will
you.
say this. I do get inspired looking at One Down Media's like posts and whatnot. So it allows me to think outside the box. Like, okay, like what are some cool Filipino things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So question for both of you, for everybody listening actually, where was the first brewery in Southeast Asia?
That is so specific.
I actually know this because he told me this the other
Oh,
day.
so-
So I was.
Is it in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was in the Philippines, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was San Miguel Brewery.
Oh. Now that makes sense, but I wouldn't think that's the first.
No,
Yeah,
it's
like
the
first.
first in Southeast Asia.
Wow,
It's the
okay.
first, the oldest, and the biggest in Southeast Asia.
Wow. Is it still running?
Yeah. Yeah, they do San Miguel beer, they do Red Horse beer, all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
I see. I didn't know it was still running.
Yeah. That motherfucker is still running. San Miguel beer is the biggest beer in the Philippines.
I know that, but I wasn't sure if like they still had a whole brewery and they're doing the.
Is
Like-
alcohol different in the Philippines? Like it's better than
it's cheap.
It's
Yeah. It's cheap and accessible.
I would say like in Mexico, it's like obviously like higher alcohol volume content and like
Oh,
yeah, and we have like a beer like the San Miguel beer, but we call ours is Victoria beer. Yeah.
Shout out Victoria.
Yeah.
Are you a beer person, both of you?
Yeah, I'm a huge
He's
beer
a
person.
beer person. I'm not.
Me neither. I don't
What?
know. I like
Yeah.
soju, fruity.
Yeah.
But I also my like go-to alcohol is like a Jack and Coke. That's it.
See, mine is oh my god, what do I get? Jameson and ginger ale.
Okay, see, yes, that's our one hard drink, and then we like the fruity stuff.
See, I went to this whiskey bar called 7 Grand. I don't know if you've been there.
No.
It's in downtown, and I don't know, like I had like a little bit of a hangover the next day, but I think it was because I had quality whiskey for the first time.
Oh, like real.
Yeah,
hard,
like real hard whiskey. And then like the bartenders actually, like I finally went somewhere where the bartenders actually knew what they were mixing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is so smooth that I
were
was
done.
literally drinking so
Yeah.
much that I didn't realize it. And then the next morning I'm like, I don't know if I have a hangover or not, but I like it. Like it's good. Like it's a good like kind of hangover.
A good hangover. What's
Yeah.
a
It's a
good
good hangover.
hangover?
A good hangover is like I don't feel like throwing up, but I know it's because I had quality drinks.
Oh.
Yeah,
No,
that squirrel
a
scared.
hangover's
the
a
shit.
hangover.
There's a squirrel.
Yeah, the
Oh yeah. Sorry, y'all. There's like an open window right here, and squirrels usually just pass by.
Yeah, but I think it's because I had quality whiskey for the first time, and it was really good. We should go there one
Let's
night.
go.
Yeah.
And let's see what kind of quality hangover we had the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had very quality hangovers from Hennessy.
Oh, Hennessy is so disgusting.
It's such a Filipino thing to drink Hennessy. I don't know why.
Is it?
I think so.
It
Yeah,
is.
it is. It is a really
Really?
I think we just
Yep.
associate the dark Hennessy with our dark skin.
Oh my god.
And then because they also have those T-shirts that say Hennessy.
Anything is possible,
Anything is
y'all.
possible. Don't you like those shirts when like it has like I don't know like a certain logo, but it doesn't.
It's not the real
Yeah,
thing.
it's not the real thing.
I've seen like Adidas, but then the sign is like a rooster.
I'm fucking sick.
And I'm like, what is this?
There's so many of that like stuff in Mexico. It's
Oh
so
yeah, there's so
funny.
much bootleg stuff like that in the
yeah.
Philippines too. My grandfather, right? Not even the other day.
story.
This was sometime like last year. He was wearing this bright red shirt, and everything looked like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, right? So he took a photo. No, he went to a family gathering. I was not there, and then everybody was just looking at his shirt like, Gramps, like, what are you wearing? Instead of the shirt saying Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, it said Horny Peter and the Sorcerer's Daughter.
Oh my!
That was wild.
And then he went on to say, well, this was Nico's shirt. I'm like, that wasn't my shirt. I would never get that shirt. You got that from the Philippines. Don't blame me.
Your grandpa's over here, Loki probably bought it himself, and he was just like, Nico.
I know.
Like he was not. You were the only one not there, so you had to say your name.
The Philippines, yeah, basically. Philippines is king of the bootleg
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
You know, back then, when I was in the Philippines back in like 2011, they just made hella NBA jerseys for me. all
shut
fake,
up.
but they made hella for me that are still in my room.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
My
sick.
sister, because since we're going to the Philippines tomorrow, she saw TikTok. She's like, Ate, have you seen this store? And I was like, what store? It was this Green Hills. You know Green Hills, right? No.
The mall? The mall?
So Green Hills is like the shopping district. And she goes, they have every dunk. Look, they even have the Dior. And I was like,
my God.
oh, well,
I
hate to break it to you. But, you know, going in there, you're probably thinking, is this lit? Because it looks really...
I mean, like even like Santee Alley here
Yeah,
in
I
downtown.
need to go there.
Oh, I love Santee
I've
Alley.
been to the prom part, but I didn't even know there's a whole nother, like,
Oh yeah,
fashion and all that.
the fashion district in Santee Alley. It's in the cuts, but like
I need to go there.
I like going there. And then like there's also is it Huntington Park? I think it's in Huntington
There's
Park.
another one?
Yeah, there's like another little like strip like of like I want to say 3 blocks worth of
See, that's what I like. I like those little stores where you can buy things and, you know, maybe it's real, maybe it's not, but it's a good price.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
right?
real, maybe it's not.
I
You're
don't
gonna take a
care.
chance today.
You're
You're
just
either gonna
gonna
waste
care.
money or actually, yeah.
You're just going to waste
You're just
money.
gonna waste money.
And then you can have like a street hot dog while you're shopping too.
See, that's
Oh.
new.
Yeah. I haven't been to the Philippines in a minute. When was the last time you were there?
2019, before COVID.
Oh, really?
wow.
Yeah, so me and Leah went there, and then it was different because it was our first time without our parents. So we
Oh.
kind of just did our thing.
Knocks the mud.
Yeah, diba? Walang family gatherings, ganyan. We just pasyal. And everything is cheap. Like, really cheap. You go ATV riding, I was like, $10?
$10?
Yes.
Wow.
I was even looking up things to go right now. You know, I've always wanted to go to those like museum of selfie.
Oh,
you know, those
yeah.
picture things, right? So like $40 here for each, okay. But there it's $2.
Wow.
Yeah,
$2.
$2. No joke. I made a list, my itinerary. And then I got an 18-seater van. All my friends, we're gonna go to all these things. Now you know, I'm gonna feel balling out there in the Philippines.
Tessa's gonna be like,
I'm gonna be like, yeah, you
Here
come,
you
you
go.
come.
She's gonna be out there. You guys want to get in? I'll get you in.
I
That's
got you.
lit. So then what's on your itinerary for this go around?
Oh my gosh. So this is the first ever P-Pop Con. It's this weekend. If you don't know, so like K-pop, P-pop. So there's
Oh,
P-pop.
okay. Oh.
Yes.
Ah.
And thank you, Kumu. They got me tickets, VIP tickets. So I get to go there. I'm gonna meet all the P-pop BGYO SB19.
You're so excited. I
as a
can
fangirl-
tell.
Oh yes, definitely.
See, that's the only name I recognize, SB19.
SB19.
Yeah.
So there's SB19, there's BGYO. P-pop is coming up.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes, been there.
I didn't even realize the Philippines had P-pop. I
Yes.
literally thought it was just, well, you know, pop over here in the U.S. and K-pop.
No, and that's actually a conversation that a lot of people get kind of heated about because in reality, the Philippines started it. Because you remember Sex Bomb Girls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I know that
Sex
one.
bomb, sex
So
bomb.
you had all these Viva Hot Babes, all these groups before.
Viva Hot Babes!
No, but
Did that just bring a trigger to you?
Yes, they were popping.
Yeah, no, and those are P-pop groups.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't necessarily make the pop songs because the songs that they had were the novelty songs that we all know now, but you know, a lot of, and this is a whole nother conversation we could get into, but a lot, and I know this because my content is all K-pop, K-drama, Korean. As a Filipino, they're always like, why do you love K-pop? You're not supporting P-pop. But then also, when I'm supporting P-pop, ugh, they're such copycats of K-pop. And actually, in reality, no, we're not. We're not copying.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's always like, if you're not supporting
Yeah,
this,
there's always
then it's always going to be something
Can't we
with
just
someone.
love what we love? Can't we just be happy?
Literally.
That's so weird. I didn't know that. But I think it goes back to the conversation, like, you know, in the beginning when we were talking about our parents don't want to support us unless it like
Yes.
directly entertains them.
Correct.
Like, you know, going to like K-pop, for example, that's literally in the government system to support K-pop stars, and that's like
yeah.
an actual job.
Oh, yeah. They
in the
go to
Philippines.
school for that.
Yeah, they do. So in the Philippines, and I'm not entirely sure if they have that same type of system where they are not only paying, like the government actually paying these P-pop stars, but I don't know if there's actually that same support system that like Koreans would for K-pop, whereas Filipinos would for P-pop.
That's true. I don't think there is. I know that right now with Kumu, we actually just started a new campaign. It's called Top Class, where we are having everyone audition to be the next P-pop group.
That's lit.
Yes, and you get the top 6. You're gonna get money. They're gonna house you, similar to what they do with the K-pop stars. So that's actually ongoing right now. So you see a lot of people sending their audition videos via Kumu to be in the next P-pop boy group.
Oh, that's so
That's
crazy.
so
Yeah.
sick. Oh, so you guys, so Kumu's the government in this situation. In this situation.
Well, we also just announced we got our very first Miss Universe Philippines candidate just from Kumu. So you know how there's Miss Universe Philippines candidates from each district, or is it district, or you know, like I'm not sure if every state within.
Yeah, it's state.
So
It's state.
Okay.
for every province, there we go. Every province in the Philippines, Kumu is its own one. So Kumu is sending. So it's kind of
That's
like
freaking
choosing
sick.
your Miss Universe Miss Universe from Instagram. You see like a metaverse type of thing. If that makes
Kumu is
yeah,
the
Kumu's
government.
sending their own Miss Universe. And it's the first year this year we're doing that.
What the heck?
Dang.
Who is the government?
Hey, low key, I mean, low key, I should probably hop back on Kumu.
Nico, let's talk after.
She's like, so here's my elevator pitch. Listen back to these parts of the podcast. You'll know exactly why. No, but that's really freaking cool. I didn't realize
Yes.
Kumu was doing like so many dope things. For people who don't know, Kumu is a streaming platform primarily in the Philippines. And I mean,
But it was started by Filipino-Americans, actually. Roland went to UC Santa Barbara. All of them all were homies here in California, and they went to the Philippines. They started the social media app. At first, it was, you know, you look at other countries like Korea, they have Kakao, Weibo, different countries. The Philippines didn't really have that one app. So they started as a messaging app and then got into live streaming now, similar to Clubhouse. We have audio streams like
Right.
TikTok. We have Kumu Clips. We do campaigns where, like I said, you can be the next Miss Universe Philippines. I just won a Nintendo Switch and a TV, and I won a year supply of Korean barbecue from campaigns.
Oh.
Like I
Oh.
said, yeah,
Hey,
no.
wait, wait.
Right.
I have my account still. Sign me up with the Korean barbecue.
Get on Kumu and start. No, look at what we could even check what prizes. I mean, even the college kids, they all won money for their PCNs as well as
Yeah,
cash for
that's so
themselves.
dope.
So you're starting to see a lot of Kumu here in the U.S. So we're excited for this.
See, it makes me so like happy, like, and it makes me want to like, you know, find those type of platforms too for like Latino culture
Correct.
too, because it's like I see like what you're doing, and I see what One Down is me doing as well, and it's just like I want to find those platforms because it's so empowering when you see like your community just
Yeah.
build each other up like that.
Yeah. I think, the one thing I really love about One Down, and for people who don't know, like, I think Christine actually reached out to me to do that that first program that you guys launched. And I'm not going to lie, I felt like a freaking superstar.
You were?
Because,
When he followed me, I was like,
Oh
Dude,
my god!
everybody from back home was hitting me like, bro, you're in this? This is so cool. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they sent me the video and I'm just like, oh, this is big. It's always different when like, people who you're hella close to just like finally figure out like, oh shit. Nonetheless, the reason why like I love One Down so much is because you guys make being Filipino and Filipino-American so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like, you guys just make it look cool.
Yeah.
Or not look cool, but you make me realize, like, it is
It is cool to be Filipino.
Yeah.
It literally is redefining. That was the campaign when you redefining Filipino, because also, what does a Filipino look like? What defines a Filipino? There's no status of how a Filipino looks, but also if I speak less Tagalog, does that make me less Filipino? If I've never been to the Philippines, does that make me less Filipino? If I've never eaten Filipino food, does that make me less Filipino? No.
Yeah.
And I think it's literally those stories that we're learning, and we're seeing that it's okay to embrace whatever Filipino identity you do have, whether you are Filipino or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then that's what Nico and I have had like tons of discussions about too. It's like how there's always this kind of like divide, and there's always this kind of like constant battle between, Filipinos and Mexicans, Mexicans that are from Mexico and that live in Mexico, Filipinos who are from the Philippines, and then the Mexican Americans and Filipino-Americans, why we butt heads so much. And it's just like, why do we even do that?
Correct.
Because there's no, like you said, there's no fine line of like, oh, what is Filipino enough and what is Mexican enough? And it's just really awesome to see how you guys are just making it look cool from an outsider's perspective. And like Nico shows me all these posts, and like I'll see it because I follow like One Down too, and like I'll look at what you do, and I'm just like, man, like literally like half my feed is all Mexican posts, half my feed, the other half is like a Filipino post, but it's always like, oh, like it looks so cool, and it looks such like a fun community to be around too. That's what I want to find for like being Mexican.
But the thing is, like, and Tessa, at least from my perspective, right? Like, it wasn't like this until like a couple years ago.
No.
Like, the Filipino community in the United States is just so divided up until a couple years ago.
Yes, I definitely agree. And then especially with COVID, I don't know if it broke it apart or if it brought it together, but also it gave a lot of opinions to people. You see in our comments, people really, really put what they're thinking. And some people are totally for it. They're like, yeah. Some people are like, oh no, what you are doing is terrible. I think it was even a post like, you should, you're Filipino-Americans. You don't know what you're saying. I'm like, oh my goodness, come at me.
God.
Oh, literally in the TikTok comments, like they will come for Nico and I, and more specifically like Nico, because like Nico is very opinionated and he's very animated, obviously, and so I don't think people realize how to perceive Nico through a screen. Yeah. And that's very tricky too. So like they'll comment like, oh, he has no idea what he's talking about. He's not like Filipino, blah, 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 blah. And I'm literally there and I want to like reply so bad. Nico's like, it doesn't matter. It's like at the end of the day, he's Filipino enough for himself.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's all that really matters. I mean, for instance, it's like I might not like red beans in my halo halo, right? I might
don't either.
Yeah, right?
No, literally, you should go watch that TikTok video we have. The comments ate
you know what I mean?
up,
my Tagalog isn't like
Konti lang.
Yeah,
Tagalog.
it's konti lang. And I even tell Jackie, like, I'll be like, kamusta na? Like, I'll talk like that just because I'm making fun of it. But, also paying homage and letting everybody know, like, I am Filipino, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, it's so crazy how, like, there's such a disparity between, like, Filipino-Americans and Filipinos back in the Philippines because, like, well, you're not from here. You don't know what it's like to live out here. It's like, I personally don't, but, like, I know the living conditions that my cousins have been in. I've literally, like, sat there in, like, the pouring rain and shit is literally seeking into the house. Like, I know what it's like over there at the very least. But just because I didn't experience that, like, fully growing up doesn't make me any more or less Filipino than anybody.
And at the end of the day too, like just because like you didn't experience it, you don't, you know, our families move over here because they don't want us to experience those things.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, I'm not over there, and granted, we have it a lot better over here. And I think we acknowledge that privilege as well. But like I said, it's one of those instances where it's like our families come over here for a better life, so that way we don't have to go through that.
Exactly. And I think also as first gens, I think all of so as first gens too, we're still navigating it. We're still figuring it out, and we don't know when we eventually have kids or that how that's going to look like, or if these are the same conversations. I hope that it's better, but who knows? And it's crazy that you bring up that that Filipino, where I even think, you know, when we try to speak Tagalog and it's like, we're like clowned on. It's like, oh my gosh, you're pronouncing it. But then when someone else says, like, let's just say a white person says, mahal kita. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, yes. And you're like,
God.
excuse me, I literally
just like that.
Yeah, like I'm over here trying to kausap Tagalog, but mahirap, ganon. And hello, give me some credit.
I know. You know who really did make that shit funny though? Was a Random Ridge.
Yes.
Random Ridge made that shit so funny.
Yeah.
For people who don't know Random Ridge,
Love
first
Random
of all,
Ridge.
he was a Halikadito right quick.
Oh my God. Literally, that's how I discovered him. And I was just like, I thought it was funny. I mean, that he's left such an imprint on like just making a joke of everything, you know?
Yeah, and then I also want to give a shout out to Ray Tarka too. Ray Tarka is so
Ray,
fucking funny.
love both of them. Oh my god.
Buckle up your shit, huh? I'm like, dude, like it's so cool. And you know, I've talked to Random Ridge about this though. It's cool seeing like Joe Coy, for example. And I think it's cool that we're actually getting a wave of like IG comedians for Filipinos. I could, at least from my perspective, I could literally just name Random Ridge and Ray Tarka right now, but like it's cool going back to the idea that like there's more jobs out there outside of like medical, so on and so forth. Like every other culture has like their IG comedians. Every other culture has their own comedians. We have Joe Coy, and now I'd like to see more like IG comedians. Like, you know, it's just funny. It'd be cool to see.
No, definitely. I mean, like even I feel like Joe Coy has just blown up, and literally, and like even with Fluffy, like Gabriel Iglesias, he's Latino, and he is, I believe, the first comedian to sell out Latino comedian to sell out Dodger Stadium for his tour this year. And for that to happen, it's like now he had to add another date because just people are just so proud of it, you know? And granted, we had George Lopez too, and George Lopez was like, you know, my childhood, but Gabriel Iglesias is becoming what George Lopez was, and it just keeps on building and building. And then there's these IG comedians like Leo Gonzalez, like who is freaking hilarious. Like my mom will literally just be scrolling on Instagram, and for my mom to find like this a kid my age, like, you know, hella funny on Instagram, it's just like, okay, like I know this is making a difference in that little way.
And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, even for Mexicans, Filipinos also, you really support your community when they go all out. You know, when a Filipino person comes to concert, we sell out, that type of thing. But how come when they're starting out, we don't have that same feeling? It's not till they're successful. Yeah. Everybody wants to be there for the congrats, but ain't nobody there for the good luck.
Period.
Whew. Say that shit again for the people in the back, dude. Come on, man.
It really is like that. And that's also for me, you know, going with Kumu and OneDownMedia, I want to be there for the good luck for everyone. You know, I want to be there, and I want people to feel that. Because, of course, that one supporter that's like, hey, I listen to your stuff, I love that. That gets you going.
Absolutely.
And that's what people need.
Absolutely. I mean, even when we were just starting the Mexipino podcast and we went to one of our friends' like day parties that she had, there was this random guy. We had no idea who he was.
Super random.
And I think we were only 3 or 4 episodes in.
Yeah. And
he came up to us. He goes, "Hey, you guys are Mexipino podcast." And we looked at each other. We're like, "Are we?" Like, I don't know. Like, what? Like, what? And then I was like, "Oh, yeah." I was like so awkward about it. He goes, "I follow you guys on TikTok. Like, you guys, like, I love your podcast." I was like, and we were like, dude, thank you so much. Like, we asked him, like, can we take a picture with you? Because literally, like, what the fuck? Like,
that was cool.
It was so cool, and it's so awesome. Like, now people, I mean, I just started back up at Dodgers because the season is starting up again. And the amount of people that are coming up to me and being like, Jackie, like, you know, we're so happy for you. Like, we see what you're doing with your podcast. We see that, like, you know, you're everywhere, all around SoCal and all around these teams. And it's such a good feeling to have that support system and also for people to recognize it too.
Oh yeah, you definitely to hype yourself up.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I know Nico says this too, but I always say this too, like, you know, no one's going to support you harder than yourself, you know, but you know, that really is there. But also you need those hype girls, people to hype you up and remind you of how great you're doing too.
Yeah, cuz it like, and I will say this, and like I think Nico can confirm it. Like, I do have a lot of that imposter syndrome where it's just like I downplay a lot of my stuff, and I also don't even recognize it sometimes. And when I just started hosting at Dodgers, I told Nico, like, it took me a good maybe 2 or 3 weeks to really step back and be like, oh shit, I actually, this is happening. I hit one of my goals, and like, why am I not celebrating this? You know?
Yeah.
It's just...
I've told Jackie a couple times. Well, I mean, now she doesn't really do it anymore. But like, you know, like when we first started dating, she'd be like, "I'm hella stupid." I'm like, don't say that. Yeah. Like, don't say that, because like the more you externalize things like that, the more you believe it. Yeah. Relatively speaking, if you say like, "Oh, like I'm the best DJ, I'm the best host, I'm the best blah, blah, blah," you start to believe that. Correct. And you start to become that as well. Like, words of affirmation, like I live by that shit like all the fucking time. Like, if you're not saying that about yourself, you're not saying that about like your partner, for example, it's like not only will they not believe it, but you also won't believe it.
No, definitely. I feel like there's always that, you know, you just gotta, like, I always tell Nico, and I noticed it with me personally, like I would always tell him like, oh, like I'm so proud of you, I'm so, you know, I'm so happy for you. And like I kept on telling him that, and I don't think I ever told him this, but at one point I was like, why am I not saying that about myself? Because yeah, you're doing things, and what you're doing is amazing, and they really are, but at the same time I'm doing things that are fucking amazing. I'm doing things that are great, and it's just like, well, if no one's going to say it, then I'm going to say it for myself.
Well, I think, like, and, you know, you can correct me if either of you can, like, you know, share your experience with this, but, like, at least in my family, not up until recently, it was always kind of weird to say, like, I love you. It's just kind of weird. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where it's like, you already know I do, so why do I have to say it? But going back to, like, words of affirmation, it's just like, if you don't say it, it's like, you're not allowing yourself to just be fully engulfed by whatever you believe. So it's just like, you know, if you are like a rising DJ or host or whatever the case may be, like if you're not getting that, you're doing a great job, a knock, or you're not, or you're doing a great job, like, you know, like it's kind of difficult to maneuver through it because you don't necessarily know, like, oh, maybe this isn't the right thing that I should be doing.
And I think it's also like, it goes back to like, you know, the older generations not really understanding what it is that we do and being in media and being in entertainment. Because, like, granted, I'm doing all of these, like, hosting gigs, but there's always, you know, with my parents, and I know they don't mean to say it in a malicious way, but there's always that one comment of, like, oh, well, you know, goes back to money or being secure. It's just like, oh, you know, maybe you should look for a full-time or this and that. And it's like, well, this is my full-time, you know? This is what I want to do, and this is my career. And it does hurt when there's not that support there all the time, and you don't hear the, oh, I'm proud of you, mija, I'm proud of you, mijo, and, like, whatever. But when they do say it, it's just, that's what sends you over the moon, and you're just like, okay, like this will keep me going a little bit.
So let me ask both of you this, and this is like an actual fact right now, right? So 35,000 millennials were surveyed about this. 55% of these millennials said they would rather be happy and without a job versus with a job and unhappy. What would you choose? Would you rather be happy without a job, or would you rather not have a job and be happy?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question.
That is a hard question.
I'm like, what would my Asian mother say? Mom, she's like, get the job, anak. You need to eat.
You're so skinny, Anak.
I think, honestly, I think I would rather be happy and without a job. And I say that right now just because, I mean, you know, my current situation right now, I'm happy with like all my hosting gigs, but there's a job that I have right now that I'm not happy with. And I know I would be a lot happier without. And what I'm choosing to do is like I said before we started, I just finished my course in nails because that's what I love to do and that's what makes me happy and that's my plan and leave here. And why am I gonna keep on, you know, being miserable and just hating life when I could be happy doing what I love? And maybe doing what I love is like maybe nothing, you know? That's fine.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm happy, and who else gives a shit about that?
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I definitely would choose the happy without a job, but you know, I think I'm having this moment right now where I'm realizing, damn, I'm living this right now. This is, you know, you never think of that. I struggle with depression and suicidal thoughts and all that, and something that I don't always talk about. And up for, you know, it's now 2 years, so I was in a really toxic relationship, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And that's when I went to the Philippines, and I just kind of went to like discover myself and figure out what I'm gonna do. And that's also when I started going with One Down and with Kumu and just doing things for me. And you know, just the whole term with being happy is such an important thing, because a lot of times we always think we're happy and we just keep going or we keep doing, but in reality it's killing us. You know, we're not, if you're, it's such like a going deep into your mental health. And for me, it's hard not to get emotional too, because I'm really having this moment where I'm realizing I'm in a happy place in my life right now, and I'm damn proud of what I'm doing. But it also brings me back to when I was unhappy and I had a job. You know, it's this hard thing, but definitely happy without a job would be great, because also so many things come from being happy. You know, you don't need that job. There's also this thing, a lot of people don't have like this steady job. I don't even know if this is considered, you know, when I was just streaming, is that a job? You're so happy with it.
Yeah.
But technically, yeah, you're making money, but things work out for you because you're happy and you continue to do what makes you happy. And those passions lead to something. People recognize it. You know, you connect, you network, things happen. It all lines up. Like you said, that affirmation, manifestation. I believe in all that.
Oh, absolutely.
You keep going. So definitely for me, I would definitely choose happy without a job. And actually right now, I don't even think I have a job, because I'm so happy with what I do.
Yeah.
It's just a job. It's like my life that I'm passionate and I love to do. So
Yeah.
I mean, like I was telling Nico, and going back to manifestation, like last season at Dodgers, I told myself, you know, this year I'm going to do what I was doing, which was the back end of like production and game days. And I said, I'm going to give myself this year, and next year I'll go for hosting.
Getter. I love that.
I'll go for hosting. Within 4 months of me saying that, I got an opportunity to host.
See?
And I was just like, what the hell is happening?
Exactly.
And so now, like, it's always the manifestation.
Correct.
I told Nico, like, you know, I'm going to take over SoCal. I know I'm going to take over SoCal. After I said that, I got Galaxy. And I was just like, and I know it's there's this little dull right now, but I know it's because I'm working towards the next thing.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's a constant, like you said, and it's also a constant growing too from your mental health. You know, you said you were in a toxic relationship, and, you know, I'm happy you're out of that, because had you not been, like, you know, who knows what you would have like done, you know?
Exactly.
And who knows if you probably wouldn't have been with the Kumu or anything, you know?
I always think that as well, because you really don't know. And I think that's also that growth. None of us actually, like you said, step back and look back at our lives and see where we're at now. I think we should maybe we all should put that in our calendar. Everyone listening, put in your calendar maybe every week, a monthly check-in and see, hey, this is where I'm at, and damn, look where I'm at now.
Yeah.
That type of thing. We need to do that.
No, definitely. I think like last year, I kept on doing that a lot, where it was just like, because I was in like a really bad place too with my mental health prior to meeting Nico. And yes, Nico makes me happy, but he enhances my happiness.
Yes.
He's not my happiness,
Yeah.
and he knows that. But it's also like, I think meeting Nico and seeing how driven he is, it only inspired me. And it was just like, I took a step back and I was like, man, I don't know where I would be had I not met someone so inspiring.
Correct.
Had I not pushed myself
Correct.
to get out of that hole,
And that's a healthy relationship where you're able to have those both sides where you encourage each other, but you also have that space to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
I did not have that. So I'm out there looking. I'm just kidding.
With a peanut date?
Peanut date.
Filipino dating.
See, I think if you make the Filipino dating app, all you gotta do is just make it look cool.
Yeah, see?
Tessa's next move is just creating the Filipino dating
Yeah.
app.
Just don't call it Pinas dating.
Pinas date. Oh my god.
Penis.
What?
Oh, penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, like PINAS.
Penis
Penis
dating.
Yeah,
But if
penis
you say
dating.
it's penis dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could.
Well, you could. I mean,
You could. Yeah, you could. You definitely could.
Definitely could. Pinas dating. I mean, that's definitely a memorable name.
Yeah. Never mind.
I want to see where you go
where
with
are you
this.
going?
I'm not gonna lie. The first thing that came to mind, because again, it doesn't matter whether you're like into guys or like into whatever your sexual preference
Yeah.
is. Like, it's cool with me. Like, I don't care, right? But it's so funny because I did actually just see OneDown's post from like a couple days ago about like, the jokes that we
Yeah.
shouldn't necessarily be making as like Filipinos, and it's crazy because like that whole conversation between like, oh, like, don't do that, like you're acting bakla.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so crazy because over here in the US, it's like those are like just some things that like, that's like some PC shit now. Like, you can't really say that. Not that you should say that, right?
Yeah.
Not that you should say that, but I'm not sure if that's still normalized in the Philippines right now.
Well,
It's nuts.
I always thought, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's because you've told me, and like, because we watched Filipino dramas, but I thought like the Philippines were really progressive with that just because of like the whole ma'am sir thing.
No, actually, we did a breaking the taboo with it on LGBTQ, and actually, people were commenting like, "Oh, it's who are you speaking for?" It's not like that in the Philippines, and it was crazy because Filipinos that are LGBTQ were commenting saying, "Yes, it is that bad here. We can't be," and that's something we don't realize living here in America that it's not like it is here. So
Yeah.
no, I totally get that. And that's also this whole bridging that gap with one, also learning, because I didn't even know that, or, we think we have it all good, or it's so different. That's why I love going to the Philippines, because you get the best of both. You learn both ways. You see how it's like there, and then it also brings me back to thinking, a lot of the times I always talk down on my parents, but I always think, oh my gosh, they make it so hard. They want us to do this, they want us to do that. And for a lot of students, they also ask me like, well, what do I say to my parents that don't support me and I'm going into media or art or anything like that? And it's easy always, yes, we have to think from their perspective that they came here just to give us that better life, but also speak their language because they had that hard time coming here. I can't even imagine my parents not fully speaking English, having to make a bank account, purchasing a home, doing these things, right? Yeah. And so it's kind of, to me, it's I kind of say like speak their language, where it's in a way you explain, this is a new thing. I don't know if it's going to work, but just like when you came here, you didn't know that as well, but look at you now. I think I always try to say, and I don't know if that's the right thing, but speak their language, really try to have that conversation. They're not going to get it the first time, but if they love you and they want to support you and you're able to at least have that conversation, keep having it. And I think you'll definitely get somewhere, especially when you start to prove them. And it'll come, you'll be successful. You'll get to where you want to go. You'll gradually improve. You'll make, money's always going to be there. Event, you're going to find it somehow. Yes, we all struggle with money, no matter what. Yeah. But I think it's really, for those that are asking, how do I get my parents to get what I, see it from their angle. Talk their language.
And it's so interesting you say that, because like I've always been told, like my sister-in-law, she's kind of like the mediator in our family, and she's always like teaching us how to talk to each other. And I've never thought about it from that perspective. It was like speaking their language, because I've always wanted, my parents to understand my point of view, and it's like, you need to change this. It's like, well, no, sometimes I need to change my point of view. And I never thought about it that way.
Well, what's funny is that, like, when I started interviewing artists back in 2016, like, a lot of the artists would either be like Hispanic or Black. And then it wasn't until I started interviewing Filipino artists, and I think most notable, Inigo Pascual. So once I interviewed him, that's when my mom was like, oh, I actually watched this interview, and like, I see what you're doing. And I was like,
Was it because of his dad?
Yeah, because of his dad. Yeah. Because of his dad. Because of his dad.
But see, that's where your parents are able to recognize that and say, okay. Yes. No, I get that. My parents too, they'll only, it was funny because even with One Down and all the video shoots that we've done. So one of the first memorable ones is Karencita. I don't know if you know.
Cebuana.
Yeah. So Leo did 2 of her music videos, but this was like right after graduating UCLA, and my mom was like, "Oh, Cebuana!" Like all of a sudden she was learning to dance. She was getting all out. I was like, "But mom, where were you?" And it's crazy. And we always, if you talk to Leah or any of us, we always use her mom. Sorry, mom. We always use her mom as that example where she wasn't always for what we were doing.
Yeah.
Always medical field, always wanting, and at the end of the day, she just wanted us to be successful or also have that stable job or, not have to worry about money or things like that. But as we progressed, also being able to see it from her perspective, she was scared for us, and just being able to connect with that and see, okay, and because that was my problem too. I'd always like, why can't I just do what I want to do? So my ex, he was Black. Why could that was a huge thing in the family. And it's like, why can't I just? And seeing it from her, it took me a while to actually step back and say, I need to see it from my parents' perspective, where they don't know. They're just concerned. They're scared for us. They don't know what we're going to do. They don't know if media is a thing. They don't see other Filipinos pursuing hosting or live streaming or getting into these Instagram socials or stuff like that.
Well, I think what it is that, like, let's say, Tessa, like when you're like walking around like a grocery store or something, and then you notice that like the person next to you is like Filipino, and then they're over here just like, not even wondering. And then when you start to speak Tagalog to them, they're like, oh, you're Filipino? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's those moments.
It's those moments. It's that familiarity, and then immediately you see that their wall and their defenses just break down immediately.
Yep.
So if I were to relate it to like what's happening over here, so whether it be like One Down content or like interviews or whatever, like the second they know it's like associated with another Filipino, especially somebody who they recognize, that's when their defenses go down, and that's when it becomes like, okay, I'm a lot more comfortable with what you're doing now.
No, definitely.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Definitely is. I feel like I see that a lot too with like, Latinos too. It's like Latinos are so hard-headed and so like closed up. It's so frustrating.
Is Tessa laughing racist?
Oh my God. I grew up in Oxnard, and I was the only Asian. We were only Filipinos in our school, so it was all Hispanics. All my best friends growing up and they would say the same thing. They're really, and I got my voice from that because everyone's really opinionated, and I love that. You really speak up for what you want.
Yeah, and like it's so funny though, because like Mexican women, we're known for like being loud and being like very opinionated, and we will speak our minds.
And crazy.
Oh my God. But I hate you.
People gonna comment bad in this.
I know, right?
But
like, at the same time, there's this weird like wall that we put up that we won't be that way until we're comfortable.
Yeah.
Until we've like come into a scenario where just like, okay, like now I can be myself.
Yeah. And I think that being said too, like, once we see more like Latina hosts, Filipino hosts, DJs, whatever, that's when, and especially, with our generation, because we already know it exists, when there's even more of us who do whatever it is, like that's when the generations become more comfortable and say like, this is a more, we know this is a viable source of income because that's everyone's biggest concern.
Yeah.
Because we've seen like A through Z do it before. And that's all it is, because we are all first generation. We all want to, us three specifically and a couple other people, like we want to experiment with things that aren't necessarily in the plans from our parents and grandparents. But because we are the start of everything, like we can't be mad at them because this is only the beginning. We don't even know what the fuck we're doing half the time, right?
Literally,
So we can't be mad. So we can't be mad that they don't know and like they're insecure and they don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think like my dad always says, and granted, my parents have never said like, we don't support this. We don't. They're very supportive. I mean, Nico has been to a Dodger game with my entire family of like 24 fucking people at a Dodger game just to watch me on the board. And that's how I know my family's supportive. But at the end of the day too, my dad, like he'll always say, if you're better off than what I am, then I've done my job.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if, that's doing, hosting. It doesn't matter if that's pursuing media and entertainment or doing something completely different.
Correct.
As long as he feels that like, and he can see that I'm better off than what he was, that's all that matters.
Yep. Amen. Well, this was a great talk. Loved it. Loved it.
That was a very good talk.
Yeah.
I feel like so liberated.
Everyone feel empowered, huh?
I'm feeling really empowered. Let's go to karaoke bar.
We're hella empowered. We did a trauma dump. And
I know,
we're
right?
Great. We're fine.
Wait, and then also when I asked Nick, I was like, what are we going to talk about? He's like, just a lot of stuff. And I'm like, what stuff?
If I'm being honest, I never know what to talk about. We just pull stuff out of the ass.
Oh my God.
Out of the poet. Excuse me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I have a joke, a Filipino joke. Maybe you've heard it. It's is your ass made of water?
No. Wait, what?
Rephrase the joke. Rephrase the joke for her.
Rephrase the joke.
Just say why next time she asks the joke.
Is your ass made of water?
Why?
Because it's too big.
I'm fucking sick.
Do you even know what too big means?
Yeah, too big is a thing. Is
No.
it not?
No, that's tabo.
That's a tabo.
I'm sorry.
Oh God.
Too big.
Too big is water.
Oh.
That's like saying.
That goes in the tabo. Does it not?
Well, yes.
Yeah, yes. You're correct.
You look so disappointed in me.
See, the male perspective of that joke, my dick's name is Water. Because it's too big.
That's so dumb. Somebody DM'd me and they were all like, hey, how do you get a watermelon pregnant? And I actually knew it. I was like, you fuck one.
There you go.
There's 2 cows and they're getting into an argument. You know what that's called?
What?
Corned beef. But then one cow fell on the ground. Then what's that? Ground beef.
I'm fucking dead. I'm hella dead. What the fuck?
I've never heard that one before.
I've never heard that either. That was like a 2-for-1.
I know.
That was good.
That was the ones that like you didn't get a chance to process the first one, and then once you process the first one, the second one's already
Yeah, it's like, here's another one just in case that one didn't hit, but they both hit.
That's hella funny.
Shout out to Tessa, man. Tessa, why don't you plug yourself and everything? I mean, you've been plugging everything that you've been doing
literally
with your entire life, this whole podcast. But please, one more time.
You can please follow One Down on Instagram. We're on Facebook, YouTube. Follow Kumu USA. Again, you're going to be hearing Kumu a lot in everything that's happening. And if you want to see what we're doing, follow Kumu_USA. And if you want to follow me, my Tessa Albea, I don't really do anything there. I'm just, but yeah.
No, we gotta hype ourselves
Oh,
up.
I'm so sorry. You know what? I'll do all the things.
There
I'm
we go.
I'm proud. Ganyan. Oh, see?
Ganyan.
That was an ad there. But please follow One Down, Kumu USA, and Tessa Albea. Would appreciate it so much. And thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
We all need this type of talk. This,
Yeah.
like you said, empowered feeling, and you're in a room with creatives, and it really gets you going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely does.
Facts. Well, my name is Nico Blitz.
I'm Jackie Ramirez.
And I'm Tessa Albea.
This is the Mexipino podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
What was that?